So the pigs, I'm sitting there at the kitchen table and somebody knocks on our door and I go to get the door and they're like, "Are these your pigs in the road?" I'm like, "Really?" Ah. So not knowing what to do, my wife wasn't home. I go get a broom. I'm trying to use a broom. Like
Yeah.
somebody's gonna drive by and say, "Is that my financial advisor?"
Sweeping pigs across the
Sweeping
road.
pigs out of the road.
It was terrible.
Children's beer, Gruff smokes weed, asking Facebook friends, who do you really be? High school mascots. It's the friend check. Let's go deep and explore beyond the surface. What lies at our core? Are we just acquaintances or something more? Let's find out. Let's open the friendship door.
What's up, Tom Heads? Thanks for joining us for another Friend Check episode. This is a fun little project where I get to know my Facebook friends, figure out who the heck they are instead of just random liking each other's posts and not really knowing each other. We're getting to know everybody. And this week it's Adam Cufr, who Gruff and I went to high school with. Haven't really talked to him much since high school. Didn't know that he is now a principal retirement income certified professional. You can check out his newsletter at fourthdimensionfinancial.com, where he is a principal. He's really into retirement planning and great at it. He's written 2 books that are available on Amazon. Off the Record, Secrets to Building a Successful Retirement and a Lasting Legacy. And Here, I Made This For You, which was published in 2021. So check those out. You'll hear that we didn't discover that he was an author until late in the episode. But that's cool. He's also a micro farmer and an amazing drummer. We knew him as an amazing drummer in school. And so we hear the story of how he met his wife, how he learned empathy from tragedy. And the only thing you need to understand about where we came from growing up is Northwood is a small town just outside of Toledo, Ohio, that is long and skinny, and it's literally divided by train tracks and a landfill. And there are those kids from the the dirty side of town, which we call the Lark side. That's where Gruff and I come from. And then Adam is from the other side of town, which is a little bit nicer. And the kids that came from that side of town are usually a little bit better off. And so we kind of joke about that a little bit. So that's all you need to understand. And you also need to understand that the band teacher, Kathy McGrady, very skilled, talented band leader and director, definitely recognized that Adam had skills way beyond most of us. And so we kind of get into that a little bit. And she was right. So we kind of talk about some of that background and just enjoy us catching up with a friend from high school that we hadn't talked to in forever. And again, here's Adam Cufr.
Let's open the friendship door.
Because we haven't, I don't think we've talked to a rock star or a drummer yet.
Well,
Well,
no.
you're gonna wait a little longer then.
No, that's not true. No, but I mean, somebody who's had that experience. I mean, you were in, I don't know how many bands post college, and then probably even post high school, and even in high school, I think weren't you like going to clubs in high school, like playing in bands at like while you're in school, like bars you weren't supposed to be in?
Well, the way it started, so I obviously I played in all the school bands, but then in high school it was Abe Black's graduation party,
Okay.
and there was a band there made up of I think it was all Northwood guys or whatever. But they're like, "Hey, why don't you come sit in? We're gonna play Pearl Jam, Alive." And I was like, "All right, if that's all right." So I get behind the other guy's drums and I play, and it's a flashbulb memory. Like it was just like, oh man. And
Nice.
somehow that turned into me playing with Brad Hamilton, who was a Northwood guy, amazing guitar player. He does the Jimi Hendrix thing with his
He was
tongue.
always my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, so talented. Love that guy. He lives around the corner from me now, which is so weird.
Oh,
We
Does he
never-
really?
That's wonderful.
I was walking home. We'll come back to my band thing. I was walking home from the Y one day to my house, and he comes out of his house into his driveway. I looked at him, he looks at me. It was the morning that Chris Cornell died.
Oh God,
Oh
And
that
so
was
shit.
he
not too
had
long
that.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we both
Yeah.
loved Soundgarden and Chris Cornell, and we played a lot of. He comes out, he was
Yeah.
devastated. I was
Oh, I'm sure he
devastated.
was. I actually
Yeah.
checked in on Brad that day because he was
Really?
the biggest fan I knew. I got to meet Chris Cornell twice, and so I was devastated. And I knew that as much as I loved Chris Cornell, and the second time I saw Chris Cornell, I just watched him from the edge of the stage because he was playing at my venue, and I just stared at him the whole time. Then backstage, he walked right past me, and I just stared at him. I like the only time I've ever been starstruck. I was just like, oh, I was
You're
like,
like, I love Chris Cornell as much as the next guy, unless the next guy is Brad Hamilton.
unless it's Brad Hamilton. So I thought, and I wanted to I thought about all the things I should have said to him, but I didn't say anything. I just was like, oh, no, I just said, you're awesome. Everybody who
Wow.
loves you, But then I told Brad, I saw him. He was really cool. He's really weird in person, but I was probably being weird. Anyway, I think I checked with him just to say, because I know he was like, Cornell
Yeah,
was like his god.
he was
So,
devastated, as a lot of people were. And
yeah.
so that graduation party at Abe Black's house turned into me playing in a band with Brad Hamilton and
Okay.
two other guys called Motherload. And
Motherload.
so,
Yes. I remember
yeah.
seeing you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we played, the clubs. I don't remember all the names now. Club Bijou, and
Yeah.
we did that. And then
So you were graduated already from high school.
I had just graduated. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we played
That's a
together for a
good.
couple of years. And then somehow like that, as those things go, I want to say Paul, the lead singer, it just didn't work out. And so
Yeah.
I ended up playing in a different band called Driftwood Whale. With
That's
Nice.
a
a couple
great
of
band
Oh,
guys
that
name.
is
from Lake.
wonderful.
It doesn't mean anything. That's the
No,
great.
it's just but you remember it. You have
Yeah,
an image in
Driftwood
your
Whale. I
head.
want a Driftwood Whale t-shirt. Do you have
Well,
one?
Yeah.
you can listen to the music on iTunes still.
Are you
So
kidding
There you
me?
go.
yeah, I
Oh,
Spotify the
there.
whole album.
We'll put a
Soapbox
link.
Streams.
We'll put a link to that in the description of
Soapbox
this
Streams is
podcast.
on Spotify, and
Yes.
it did not age well because
Oh
there's
yeah.
a song called the Transvestite song.
Oh,
Oh
There's stuff
gosh.
that the
Yeah,
90s were a different
we were
time.
different then. We said things that we didn't necessarily mean harm. We just didn't know
as
it
we
offended
grow,
anybody.
we know.
Yeah,
That's
we
all.
learn.
Wow.
I mean, there's probably
Yeah.
stuff we're saying
We
now
learn.
that people are going to be offended by in 20 years that we
Yeah,
don't know.
probably.
Oh yeah.
Just my
Um,
voice.
You're
Just my face.
what an offensive face you have. I can't believe you walk around with that fucking offensive face.
You said you hadn't changed. You've been cursed with that this entire.
The same. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
anyway, that turned into me playing and going into the Air National Guard. I played in an Air Force band where I met my wife, did
Oh.
that for 20 years. And then that
oh,
band literally was shut down because of government cuts in
mm.
2012. And so, along the way, just a lot of different music, a lot of
Yeah.
different bands. But
So did your wife play in the band with you? And it was
yeah,
like
she
a
played.
band, like a marching band type of situation,
It
or
was it was 35 people that formed a concert band. We also marched, and I was the drum set player for the rock band, and then we
okay.
had a jazz band. So it was kind of cool. We would do either we would break up into smaller groups for concerts, and or we would play all together. It was really great. It was a
You said
great
that's National Guard. Is it Air National
Nice.
Guard?
Air National Guard. Yeah,
National Guard.
yeah. I was
And
out
you
at the 180th in Swanton.
That's what I was just going
okay.
to ask. Is you're right out
Hoo-ah. Is that
there.
what you say? Hoo-ah to each other?
They do. I was the least military guy. Like if you look at my face, you
Yeah.
don't say, "Oh, drummer," but that's what was fun about it because I was in a band that was a military band. So it's like this haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went to try out for
That
a
You
band.
makes
with-
sense. That makes more
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a
And
weird. Yeah.
yeah.
I remember
In the
seeing you.
context of Buddy Rich, you're fine.
Well, yeah, buddy. Yeah, there you go. I remember
Right.
seeing you at Club Bijou and all that, thinking like, Adams seems like such a clean cut guy. I can't imagine him at this bar with Brad Hamilton's friends. But then you would tear it up on the drums every time, and I'd be like, holy shit! I've always been so envious of your drumming ability. It's always been just mesmerizing. I don't think people know. That's what I just want to say. Like, you're not just a good drummer. Like, you were an amazing drummer. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure,
It's very
yeah,
kind. Thank
as
you.
good as anyone on the universe.
I would say that YouTube has created a world where there are kids that can do weird, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a different world where things that I didn't
Sure.
learn until, 30 years playing, like they're picking up when they're 12.
Yeah,
Well, they
yeah, yeah.
also
Because there's a
have
video on it, right? Yeah.
exactly. They have access to a wider they're exposed to a wider variety than you were.
That's the thing. And with YouTube, anybody can put anything out there, and you know about every single person that exists now. Like that's the
We're doing this.
That's why we're doing it. Yeah.
What I think is interesting about you guys is you are the right guys to do this kind of thing. And maybe I'm projecting here, but I always feel like I have a really odd relationship with people I went to high school with. Like people don't know how to size me up or what to make of me. You have always been kind of like, this is who you are. And it's refreshing in a way. And so you approaching me, of course, I was a little hesitant, resistant to just
well, you're wise, you know?
Yeah, and that was wise. So, then I've been telling people, I was like, our next guy is kind of on the fence. I think I can convince him, but I get why he's saying I'm not no hard feeling, but he's some people. And then I realized some people are important. Like some people have jobs that matter, like that you know are afraid of.
Some people could really piss off a lot, and that's probably most just people by being in the same screen as us.
Well, and I think
the equation is it sometimes feels like you have more to lose than to gain. And I just thought I love listening to guys like Conan and like you watch and you're like, no, they're bringing joy to the world. And I needed to just kind of let a little bit of my guard down and say,
sure,
what's the worst that happens? Somebody that went to school with me who's like, man, whatever happened to that guy sees you guys talking and is like, hey, all right, I'll check it out. And who knows what kind of good can come from just having a conversation.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's what I was trying to reassure you. Like if there's anything at all that comes out of this, you know, that you say, like how you think later, hey, don't cut that out. You know, could you cut that? Of course, I'm not gonna. You know, but I was explaining that conversation to other friends of mine who are kind of listened and are waiting for their turn to be on the pod. Some people want to do it, and they were kind of like, "Yeah, right. You're not gonna edit anything." No, I said I honestly will, but I mean, I can't with Adam Cufr. I can't imagine anything that would. You know, like there's no negativity surrounding you that I
think if anything, one of us, probably me, would say something that would come off completely wrong. So,
but that said, like what we described as you have a different relationship towards high school or memories of high school. I think you have the norm. I think most people have that experience. And I think what Steve and I have is rare, generally with memories of it. I know I'm rare because most people I talk to are like, you still talk to people from high school? Like you still know people from high school? And like, we still go places with people from high school. Like I still, but I think only because I'm sort of a people person. Like I'm so obsessed with people. Like I love talking to people and strangers. And so I work at a performing arts center, and my first position here was with all the volunteer ushers, and there's like 500 of them, and they're people, most of them are retired, you know, people that have lived these lives, and they're just ushering for a performing arts center so they can see free Broadway touring shows. And so, but you just talk to these people that have lived these whole lives. Most people retired down here in the South, you know, Charlotte, North Carolina, that, you know, from different places, people from New York and Jersey, and I mean, people from California, people from all over. And they just like fascinate me. Like I love talking to them and finding out their backstory. And then next time I see him, like, hey, did you know he was in a band, or that guy was in the army, and oh, you were in the Marines with so and so. You played football with Harry Carson. I can't believe, you know, like things like that are just like, and that's kind of part of why I started this, and because something you said originally made me think. Oh, Conan! You mentioned Conan, and Conan. You know, I also, not to name drop, but I met him briefly, but I was obsessed with his podcast, the Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, and I originally thought, oh, what if it was? I'm convinced that when I listen to these celebrities talk, sometimes I get a little bit of celebrity fatigue, where I'm like, talk to me about your second boat and your third house. You know, it's like, must be nice. You know, I'm a little bit just like, what about regular people? And that's what I love about everybody. If you talk to them, corner them, get them talking about themselves. Everybody's got stories in these lives and these experiences that you wouldn't know about if you didn't talk to them. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe. And so I was convinced, like, no matter who I talk to, we're going to find something about
Yeah.
them.
Well, the
That,
premise is great.
yeah,
And I think for the people like me that like went to high school with you guys,
yeah,
this is like a class reunion for people who don't love crowds.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
True.
yes,
Yeah.
I walk into a
Very
room, I'm
much
like,
so.
ah, geez, everybody's sizing everybody up. This is a chance to just like let all that go and just talk to
yeah,
people that are, you guys are pretty non-confrontational and just your curiosity and
Yeah.
your interest, it shines through. And so it's kind of fun to think, I would like to talk to these guys because it's always fun to see, okay, was the person that I thought you were, is that who you really were? And I
yeah.
won't name names, but when Facebook became kind of a bigger deal,
Hmm.
a person that I knew very well in high school, who um, that person reached out and shared some things about here's why I did some of those things I did
Hmm.
because I had a terrible home life
Hmm.
and that was my
Oh,
way of escaping. These weren't even bad things. These were
Yeah,
some
okay.
somebody who excelled at a high level at some
sure.
things.
Mhm.
And it wasn't because they thought they were better than us. It
Yeah.
was because
Yeah.
that was their way out. When
Hmm.
I was
Wow.
doing that thing, I wasn't being hit. And
Oh,
I thought
God.
it brought tears in my eyes. And I'm
Yeah.
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
what do I not know about people because I was
Yeah.
so insecure about my own how do I fit in that, take
Hmm.
time to find
Oh,
out.
Well,
yeah.
that
This
breaks
is
your
not,
heart, and you think like, what did I maybe say to that person to,
well, I had that too.
even at
Yeah.
this day or that.
Mm.
But that's what I think I realized is most of us are all, even to this day, everyone's in their own world. Like everyone's living their life, living their day. It's like everybody you see, everybody you interact with, they don't care what I'm doing. They don't, oh, is somebody gonna see the stain on my shirt? I didn't realize I had a stain on the shirt. And oh man, how am I gonna go to work today with the stain on my shirt? Nobody gives a shit about my stain. Like they're looking at their stain or something else.
Mhm.
Everybody's doing their own thing. And I think in high school more, we didn't even know who we were then. It really dawned on me when I showed some of my high school videos to people I worked with probably 10 years ago or 12 years ago. And I showed them one of the old videos and they're like, which one's you? And I was like, what do you mean, which one's me? That guy. It's like, oh, that's you?
That could be taken a number of ways.
Well, they were just like, and then it dawned on me, like, oh yeah, I'm fucking old now. Like, I'm a pretty much a different person. Like, I'm not, and in your head, you think of yourself as whatever year you remember. Like probably 26 or something. Like, I startle myself all the time when I look in the mirror. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I got old and fat. Like, I got a
There
gut.
was a Northwood guy who found me. I'm easy to identify because I still kind of look the
You
same.
look
I
a
got
lot the same. You and Jeff,
so
gosh.
this guy came and found me at a daddy-daughter dance at
Oh,
a school where my kids have all gone to school. And he walks up to me. He's just like, "Hey, Adam," and I'm looking at him, and he's like, and he tells me his name. He's like, "I'm in here. I'm just fat now." I looked at his face and I was like, yeah, it was his face was right here, but then there was just
Yeah.
more to it.
yeah, you
And
could see him in
Yeah.
there when you look at everybody that's age.
Mhm.
And that's why I thought the last few reunions we've had, I just laughed the whole time. And I'm not trying to laugh at everybody. I'm just like, oh my God, everybody's gotten balder and fatter. It's like everybody just looks like they're
Yeah.
swollen. Like, like
are
we
you
all just,
okay?
yeah.
Well, yeah, we just retain more water the more older we get.
Because not
We
every day
just,
you see somebody you knew when they were 12, and that I
Yeah.
think that's the
yeah.
thing that just blows my mind every time. I mean, of course, now that Facebook's up, you see their pictures and everything, but um, just hearing them interact and everything, like seeing Joe Bear and all that. So,
Hmm.
so yeah, but so a lot of that is what I'm fascinated with, and like you said, like we were all like, I'm sure I did things. Originally, when we started this, Steve, remember we were talking about maybe this should just be an apology tour. Like
Oh yeah, no, I
we've talked about
definitely
just getting people from high school and
just
just
because
apologizing for.
it's like,
I'm
oh, I
sure I did
remember when I was a
something.
dick. Oh
Yeah, tell me
shit.
something I
Yeah.
did to piss you off, and I
Yeah, and
apologize.
we'll
Here's
just
why I did it.
own up to it. I apologize to it. I just can't remember it all.
Yeah, because we were so impulsive. You're still trying to figure out, like you said, who you are, what your motive in life is, what you're gonna be, why you're here, and how to behave. Like, what's the consequence if I say this to somebody? What's the consequence if I do that? And it took me a long time to realize that not everybody's having fun. Not everybody's happy right now. Not everybody's at a party. Like, and I was, oh, I'm annoying people. I'm bothering people by by screwing around all the time. Like, oh yeah, okay. I still have to learn that sometimes, but let's start. Okay, so the cool thing about this is a little bit opposite of some
Editing.
of our yeah, I'm gonna have to edit, but
No.
some of our most recent ones I kind of push all the way back to grade school and everything with people to find out, okay, where did you go to school, what was your mascot, so we can skip all that because we know you went to the same school as us. Northwood, and I was a ranger, the blue and gold, and you were a drummer in the band. But I want to back up before because I was racking my brain today, just getting ready for this, thinking, I don't remember. Did you go? You were an Alney sider,
Yeah,
right?
I was the other side of the landfill from you guys.
Yeah, we're on the
Yeah.
dirt side. We've talked about that in the last episode.
You're listening to our description. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
1x7. We all describe it the same way. It's great.
Well, I mean, there's no other way to describe it.
Yeah.
No?
This little white trash town from the east side of Toledo. So, but I couldn't remember if you were at Lark with us or not. I was like that far gone. Like I'm starting to get older too, and I can't remember stuff. So I thought you were Alney, but then I couldn't. Then I was trying to remember. I can usually remember the neighborhood everybody lived in, but I couldn't for the life of me remember where you lived. What part of town were you?
So I was on the Alney side. I grew up on Coy Road, right near the Oregon line.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I grew up hanging out with all the girls on my street. They all turned out to be super cool,
Yeah.
pretty popular, good athlete girls. And I admittedly played with dolls a lot because that's what they did. They're like, hey, you want to hang out? I'm like, yeah. I have 6 daughters now.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
It was
so
meant to
you're set up,
be.
dude.
And you just don't know how it's going to turn out. Yeah. So
No.
So you knew how to play dolls and you knew all the stuff.
well enough. Like they probably
Yeah.
wish I would play dolls more often. But I was like, I know the Barbie scene. I can do this.
That it's funny that you mentioned it 'cause I was just thinking the other day, because there was a couple girls in my immediate neighborhood before I met Steve that I would play with when I was real little. Like it was just the couple houses near me, the kids my age were all girls. So we, one parent would watch 3 kids at a time, and you'd go from one. And I loved going to their house because I didn't have I had brothers, so I didn't have doll houses, I didn't have anything. And the one girl had her whole basement was toys, like girl toys, and she had all those strawberry shortcake things that smell the little action figures that smelled so good.
Yeah.
And I started
Puff
thinking,
those, man.
I was thinking about this, like maybe this could be an SNL skit. I don't know, but it was like, why would we do that as a society in the 70s? We were like, girls need toys that smell good. Boys need ones that smell like. I almost think they should have taken the boys'
Like
figures
stink
to an
or
extreme and
stunk,
just hey, he stunk, or made them smell like farts. Like we had ones that smelled like weed or farts or like like did like
Boss
ours
Man
just smelled like
smelled a little
poop
bit
because
like
we're
a-
supposed to smell like shit, like, and theirs are supposed to smell pretty. But I also thought, like, how come they're the only ones that can smell good? Like they got to smell.
This is really one of life's big questions you're asking here.
Yeah, I distinctly remember. I remember being at her
weird
house. Like,
gentrification of things.
can I get some? And then it could be a drug deal. Like, can I get some of that Polly Pocket? Can I get some of that strawberry shortcake? Can I get some of that limey, blueberry, whatever her name was?
You got some of that. Oh shit!
I would stand there. She would go, "Can we play now? Can you stop sniffing my toys?" And I thought, God. So we've created this society where I'm this weird guy sniffing this girl's stuff, like her goods. I'm just sniffing her toys.
Just say toys. Just say toys. Don't say sniffing the girl's
when I say stuff, it sounds bad, but still, they were her possessions. We don't want Joey to come over because he keeps sniffing all my toys.
Yeah.
But they smelled so good, and I didn't have anything like that.
They
so
smelled better than those markers that were scented.
Sure.
That's a terrible idea, by the way. Let's make markers that you smell, but not let them smell other markers because those are
those will get them high, like a smell.
Exactly.
But my thought is, how did they make those strawberry shortcakes smell so good for so long? Like
science, man. It's just science.
Does anybody have the key to that? Someday we'll get somebody whose
infused
job
plastics.
it is that just does that. I infuse plastics with scents.
This is why we're all getting dementia and early Alzheimer's and
sniffing those things and has all the chemicals they were in them.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. So you played. You had the girls in the neighborhood, and you. So you started playing with those guys, early on, and then now I remember. I know exactly where you were
But as I got older, though, then you had these guys that like I ended up playing sports with them, and then So it was a cool place to grow up because like right across the street there's a baseball field and a big wide area. There's a church parking lot with a basketball hoop where me and my brothers used to ride our go-kart on the church parking lot until they yelled at us to go home. And so it was a great place to grow up. And and then it wasn't until obviously middle school, we're like, wait a second, there's these kids from the other side of town. That's really weird.
It's like that. It's like Washington and the camping trip.
That's when you
like learn about the other kids.
You're right.
It's like, wait a second, there's a whole bunch of other people over there.
Well, if I can add, so I was in student council in elementary school. So 4th grade, I did what what seemed impossible. I was a fourth grader and became president of student council. All right, so that was a big deal because I heard that Brian Makowski, who was a year older, I heard that he was moving away, and I was running against him, a fifth grader. But I got CB and Jody, and I got them to help me get the word out that don't vote for Brian. He's going to move away anyway, so vote for Adam. I'm not proud of the strategy there, but what I will say is that led to a student council exchange where I went to Lark one day a week for like a short period of time as part of this exchange, as I recall. But I was at Lark in the cafeteria when the space shuttle, the Challenger, blew up.
What?
Wow.
That's crazy because that's one of those things you always remember where you were. I remember that moment.
I was there with you.
Like it was yesterday. Oh my God, you were there. And maybe
Just gave
that's
me
why
chills.
maybe that's why I couldn't remember what side you were on, because maybe I saw you at Lark.
I don't know.
or
Yeah, they
something.
wheeled the
That's why
TVs
you're
into your
the greatest
cafeteria.
Ranger diplomat. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you guys were in the
You're the
cafeteria?
Ranger
'Cause
to bring
I think I was in the gym.
everyone together.
I was a diplomat. That's hilarious.
You were a diplomat, yeah. Well, I was thinking, it was funny. I was
You're
just
the one
thinking
that
about the
brought
student
two
council
sides
thing.
together. Everyone agrees. Super is cool.
Well, so if that's what's in, so when I was in high school, then I played sports. You may not remember that part of me, but I played sports and I played drums.
Mhm.
So what I would do is I would play when I was on JV basketball, I would play the game and then I
You're a
would
good
run up to the
point
top of the
guard.
bleachers
I
and
do
play
remember
drums in
that.
the pep band.
I do remember that because we only have the one good. We have the amazing drummer. He's got to do that.
Yeah,
I
we only-
remember you playing basketball and baseball.
yeah.
I think.
Yeah. But what
Right.
was
Like,
cool
what
about
size-
that is we'd be in the locker room and there'd be, and again, I won't name names, but guys were making fun of, basketball players were making fun of the band. They'd look at me and they're like, ah, crap.
Yeah. Yeah, except for the kick-ass drummer. I mean,
Yeah, well, he's cool, but the
Yeah.
other ones.
Everyone else sucks. You're good.
But I remember in middle school, like everybody played drums, and I think that's where I was first aware of you was in band because I played drums too, but I couldn't play. Like, so I signed up to play drums, and I couldn't figure out how to read music, and they couldn't teach me. Like, I didn't understand. I remember ta ta ti ti ta, and that was it. So I thought, oh, that'll be easy, but I couldn't. And I didn't have the coordination. I couldn't do like two at once, and then they let us try the drum set a little bit, but it quickly became, get out of here, let Adam have the drum set. Like,
Well, see,
Adam is a
that's
god, and Kathy
Stop.
McGrady would be like,
We'll get to her.
I remember her lots of times in band practice, she would say, drums, percussion, everyone just stop, except for Adam.
Are you
Just let
serious?
Adam play. That's
That's
what
the problem.
my overwhelming
That's
thing.
a-
And then, so yeah, I'm sure
yeah.
you got some.
That's
like,
my
fuck Adam. I guess I do.
uncomfortable relationship with high school
I'm
is that
sure, yeah. They set
I
you aside
tried a
as
lot
a
of
special
stuff.
guy. Yeah. They're like, you're special. Everyone else sucks. I remember saying that. I was like, I knew I sucked. So I ended up just playing bass drum because
Oh.
that's all I could figure out how to do.
I wrote a book. So I've written a couple of books. I'm working on a third, but my first book,
Wait a minute. Wait a fucking second. Why did you leave? Okay, you wrote a book. I can't. This is exciting. Yes. Okay.
So
Yeah.
in
No,
this
see,
book,
this is-
I literally talk about the moment when I was in the band,
Yeah.
and this was elementary school, but I was in the back. We all had these Remo practice pads with a gray plastic rim around
I
them.
remember that. Yeah.
And so we're all in the back, and I have this very vivid memory of looking down this row of endless drummers, and I thought to myself, I will never be as good as any of these guys.
Wait, well, you didn't know you were good at drums then?
Well, I wasn't yet. And
Yeah.
so
weren't?
I assumed everybody was better than me. And then as time went on, everybody dropped out for various reasons. And
Yeah.
I was kind of the guy left, me and Keith Dempsey.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Nice.
it's so like that is so interesting that again, you thought the same thing. You're like, everybody's good, I suck.
No. I thought we all suck except for Adam.
No,
See,
I was.
don't do that. That's uncomfortable.
Well,
I'm
no,
not trying to make you uncomfortable, but and
no,
you
yeah,
probably
we're not making- no,
yeah.
it was
I mean, you
just-
felt like that,
Davison
right?
was
Steve?
good. Yeah, no, Sean Davison was good.
Sean
Davison
was okay.
good, Yeah.
I just remember
But-
multiple times.
Oh,
where she
yeah,
was like,
no,
"You're
like, I
all
was-
everybody stop.
Yeah.
Adam is." And I remember because before we got to middle school, when you were over at the middle school, we were in 5th grade because that's the first year you can do band. She was like, "Oh my god!" And she would,
I
and she,
wasn't in 5th
and she-
grade. I
yeah.
didn't get in until 6.
so she didn't mean to do this, I'm sure. But and
Yeah.
the thing is, like, the only reason I stuck around is because my parents were like, "We can't afford for you to be in band. We don't have any money. You can't afford to drum. We can't do it." I was like, "Please, I think I'm a drummer. Like, I think I can drum. Like, I would like drum on like stuff all the
Yeah, it
time." And
was
they were
in
like,
you,
"Oh my
yeah.
god, you must be a drummer. We think you're a drummer. You got a good rhythm or whatever." And so I begged him and begged him and begged him. So I bought the snare drum that we had no business affording. And my parents just said, you cannot quit. You are sticking with it and you better not fucking quit. And I quickly realized I couldn't do it. I was like, I'm not a drummer. I suck. And then, but I couldn't quit because they told me, like, I felt so bad that telling them. And then we couldn't even sell because right away I spilled something on the snare drum. Like we couldn't sell it anyway. But in fifth grade, she was always like, "Oh, you guys are so terrible. You guys cannot get it." I'm just so lucky to have Adam Cufr. Oh, if I didn't have Adam, oh my Adam. And then in eighth grade, when you left and went to high school, it's like, oh, I miss Adam. I just wish Adam was here. Without Adam, you guys are all terrible. Like, you guys can't play at all. If you were just more like Adam, and it would just, I'm probably exaggerating, but that's what
I was
I
out by
felt
about
like.
halfway through seventh grade. Like
Is that when you came in? Were you drums too with me?
Yeah, dude. I
remember.
was drums. I had a pad and sticks.
Okay.
My mom and dad were both drummers.
Okay.
But I did the cymbals, man.
Oh, the cymbal. You were the cymbals and I was the bass.
Percussion.
I just took the easy stuff because I didn't want to.
I didn't,
that makes me
drums.
That makes me sad. You guys, we could have all been drummers. Now, okay, so
we all were for a little bit.
We all were there.
Snare, I was on cymbals.
I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out the. I mean, she gave us all a chance to try to do the set and everything, and I don't have the coordination to do different things with my feet.
I don't think
hands.
Anybody does when you start. So two things real quick. One is when I think it was seventh grade, Christmas morning. I had been playing the pad and then I got a snare drum, but Christmas morning I went under the tree. There was a long cylinder package that had a rubber band around it with a key. I opened the package. It was a set of drumsticks that my dad had taped. He put this cool tape on it, but there was a key and I'm like, well, what is this? And they're like, well, Santa Claus said that you should go downstairs. So overnight, Santa Claus had put a lock on one of our basement, it's like a storage room. And so the key, I opened it up, there was a drum set in there.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then the deal is they said, you can keep this if you take private lessons.
Oh, okay.
So I was fortunate enough that they were able to swing private lessons.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's where you can learn, probably. That helps you learn.
Made all the difference in the world. I could read music. I didn't want to practice sometimes, and I had to for 20 minutes because my teacher, Nathan, said I had to. Nathan was in the Air Force band and helped kind of prepare me for that.
Really?
Dude,
I had all these advantages.
Yeah. Well, that's so cool. Well, that explains it. That makes me feel better about myself. I thought you were just like a prodigy. I thought you were like this guy that just had this given talent.
James Hazlitt taught me how to play Wipeout. Like at Lark one time when I was there. He was playing on the floor. He's like, watch this. And he was playing. I was like, what is this? Guy was insane. But so if you look at like these advantages that I was given, that I did take advantage of. I responded to them and did the work.
Yeah.
But I will say that I'm a huge Kathy McGrady fan. Now that said, I'm a fan because she treated me incredibly well. I didn't have your perspective to say it felt like she slighted you or didn't give you. But she was incredible to me. And she then not only gave me every opportunity, but she then had me come out and play drums with her private band called Musicology. And she paid me $75 to sit in with the band. And at that age, I'm like, not only did I become a professional drummer, but I got paid. Yeah.
Well, you were that good. I mean, you were, no doubt, you were unbelievable, but I didn't know, I didn't know any of that. But
we deserved everything we got from
we deserved all the vitriol.
So, I don't think because of our lack of musical talent, we are not good students. We were not good students.
Yeah, and we did screw around, and there was another part of that too. Like if we had her on here, she'd probably be like, "Well, let's not forget, you guys are screwing around and doing this and that." A lot of times, she's in a middle school, as bad as everyone is in middle school, filled with people that have giant noisemakers, and everybody just fucking around and fucking with each other, And there were so many days she was frustrated. I remember seeing so many teachers angry and frustrated at all of us awful people. And I'm sure we were doing bad things.
Well, she was a new teacher too. Like I was able to start in fourth grade. I got a year ahead, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Braden was there one year. And then Kathy Grady started when I was in fifth grade. So she was brand new. And so and so
Oh,
she,
like my sister was in Flaghorn and shit, so I remember her talking about
yeah,
the one beat previous.
The previous band. See, I don't
Yeah.
remember her not ever being there, but and I will say when I did do musicals, and I think she's just like a I think Kat McGrady is just a truth teller. Like she recognized talent and will tell you, and game recognized game. Because when I was in high school and I auditioned for the musical, I'll be honest, we all auditioned for the musical as a joke. Like the football team, like me, Jaco, and Jeff, like we just wanted to get small parts and fuck around in the back and like get on
mhm.
stage and fall down or barf in our hats. And so, but when I
That
auditioned,
was your thing, dude.
that was the
That
whole
was your
plan.
thing,
It
dude.
was just to be funny and have fun. And so when I
Yeah.
auditioned, I read whatever role, and she was like, looking down and like just writing stuff. And then when I read, it was just me and somebody else reading, or I can't remember what it was. I think it was just me. She like dropped her pen and looked up and went
Wow.
and just stared at me. And she was like, wow. And I didn't know,
I
did I
can see
say
her
something
doing
wrong?
that.
Yeah, just like, and then
I
she's
love
like, that was amazing. You're an
it.
amazing
Yeah.
actor. Nobody, nobody read anything like, everybody just read, nobody knows how to act. And we're just like, but I could do that. I could act. I mean, that's
Wow.
all we ever did is fuck around with our toys and, acting. And so,
Yeah.
but then they were like, now sing something. This is terrible. And they were like, oh my God, but the acting's so good. We'll still give you the lead. And Miss McGrady was like, oh, we'll teach you. We'll be able to teach you to. I mean,
Wow.
Miss Gatros was like, we'll be able to teach you to sing. I don't know, was it Gatros or was it Sutter
Yeah.
by then? I don't know.
So
That
you
was
felt
anything
you felt Kathy
goes.
McGrady's light shine on you, and
Oh
now
yeah.
you.
Yeah, dude.
She was
Yeah.
mesmerized by my acting ability. And so that's the
Wow.
first moment that I knew that I actually could act. Her reaction, I was like, oh, I mean, because you know how she's like completely genuine. She's not gonna just blow smoke, because she had no reason not to. Like, um, and so that's how I knew I could act, and that's why I went into theater. And so I'm not
Amazing.
just because of her, but then they couldn't teach me to sing, so it was bad. They tried. They would pull me out of class and try to teach me, like, no, right here, hit this note. And I was like, "Whoa!" Like I
Yeah.
couldn't. I was
Instead
like, I
of a
don't
triple
hear it. I
threat,
mean,
you were a
what
single
note?
threat.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was a
Yeah.
single threat completely. I
He's
couldn't.
focused. He's
Yeah,
focused.
like a
But I love
dancer.
that. But don't you just love the idea of like who you were, you guys, like just being a whole different look to the musical. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
wait, bringing the athletes in, what would that do to the audience? That's
Mhm.
incredible.
Well, I did. We did.
Asses in
So
the seats.
yeah, asses in the seat, and it. I do say this is a little dramatic, and maybe it's kind of fake, but I feel like it's a little bit like I don't like something you'd see on Glee or something that we did it as a joke. And there was, I will say, Jeff and Jim were a little bit pissy with me because they got their secondary background roles and were barfing in each other's hats, but I had to take it seriously because I was like, I have like all the like I have a
Yeah,
million
dude.
lines that I have to memorize now, and I have to
You're Albert Peterson.
sing all these songs.
Was
Like I
that?
have to
No,
suddenly
that's not.
I'm not hanging out with them anymore, and they're leaving early, screwing around. They're like, "You traitor! You're the who went solo or whatever." But I was like, I got to do this. I got to be on stage or whatever. So, um, what was I going to say? Oh, but what I do think it did was it kind of I reconnected with kids even from Lark that I'd never talked to because they weren't in the right clique or whatever. They didn't play
Hmm.
sports or whatever. And then we made friends with Brandon Wilhelm, who was in our class, and I don't think I ever spoke to him before that. But we would talk all the time because we had all these scenes together and stuff. And like Joe Scott and those guys, all these kids that I grew up with that
Hmm.
I didn't talk to anymore because they were in a different circle. We all just hung out, and then we had like a night, a cast party, and then we're all hanging out together. And then Muppet or Brandon Wilhelm lived with us in college. Like we
I
Oh,
got
love
that
your
close.
relationship, the unlikely pairing
oh
of you
no,
guys is
Yeah.
amazing.
no.
And then
Like when. Go
sorry, go
on.
ahead.
No, go, dude.
I was going to say then that I saw the classes after us all did. Like Tony Vasco started going out for the musical, and I don't know that he would have if maybe he always was in choir and all that stuff, but it felt like we started a trend of sports kids going out for the musicals and stuff, and then I think they still do it to this day.
So here's the other side of that. All the
Yeah,
kids that wanted to just be in the musical, they're like, we couldn't because the sports guys were in it.
yeah, sports guys came in here. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's the other side of
yeah. There's
that.
probably
Yeah.
somebody mad that they were the lead every
Yeah.
year, and then I
We
took.
won't focus on that right now.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
No.
sorry. See, that's the apology
Hey,
though.
man, I'll say like I I'm proud to say that I couldn't sing and that worked for the one role I got. Because Conrad
What,
Birdie couldn't sing.
Yeah, Conrad Birdie. So,
So
yeah.
See, there's a role for everyone. That's the
exactly.
metaphor here.
Yeah.
Well,
I
the
could
worst.
guzzle a beer and I had my own leather jacket.
Well, the worst was why we had to do Bye Bye Birdie because we were so new because they didn't do musicals till our junior year or something, and we were going to do. uh we
It
did.
was Grease.
What did we do the
Anything
first year?
goes.
Anything goes. We
Anything
did. It was
goes.
good. So I thought, okay, we're gonna do
Yeah.
Grease next year. I was like, Grease, hell yeah! My dream is to be Danny Zuko. Like I am gonna do. Memorize it all, and
Which is
I
kind of funny because they said he turns like Zuko getting his track letter.
yeah, it's kind of like that.
Oh,
Same kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I auditioned and I got Danny Zuko and he was going to be Kaneki. And we were like, dude, you're Kaneki and I'm Zuko. It's going to be the best time ever.
Yeah.
And then they found out, oh, you can't do Grease when it's on Broadway. Like you
Yeah.
can't, nobody can do it. Like,
wow.
so they couldn't get the
There
rights
was
to do it.
there was a quick petition mounted by Yumi and Ruck for Rocky Horror.
Oh, really?
We did. I do remember that day in the office where the three of us were in there saying we can do Rocky Horror.
No way.
That would have been right up your alley.
No, I mean, there's no way there. Like
They
we
wouldn't
knew
let
that they
us
weren't going to
in
let
Northwood,
us,
yeah.
but we
I don't
thought we'd
remember that
pitch it
part.
anyway.
But I don't remember a lot. But then they had to okay, instead of that, we're doing Bye Bye Birdie, and so we have to recast all the roles, and so yeah, it was not as good.
But it was
it was not as
fun.
exciting. It was fun. It was
It
fine.
was fun.
We had
Just your
fun.
dream was crushed.
I'll
but it
never
was
get to
fun.
Danny Zuko. I'll never
No,
Yeah.
but you can rest assured that you were.
get to. And you were
You
going
were
to sing
Danny
Grease
Zuko.
Lightning,
For a hot second. Yeah.
but it was still fun. I mean, still have that picture of
Yeah.
you with a dress on or something. Like, didn't you have to put a dress on?
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we wore tons of makeup and we didn't know how to do it. But
Yeah,
no, that
true.
really did bring the jocks and the
No, I think it took advantage of the fact that
art people together.
it was a particularly small school at the time.
Yeah.
A lot of circles overlapped.
Well, then Steve and I went into theater in college. We lived together with Brandon Wilhelm, moved in with us at the House of Fun. And that's around the time we would see you in bars playing Adam in bands and just because I would go see Brad's band a lot, Hollow. Then he was in Hollow.
Yeah.
But we would, and I was really impressed with you then because I was like, man, he's the drummer in a band, a rock band, playing at a bar, I'm always so jealous of that. I thought I could do that.
Oh.
I thought I would be that.
Oh, dude, I just remember watching you during Bye Bye Birdie. You were back in the school for whatever reason because you came and went, and it was always you were just on the drums. You're just sitting on the drum kit, just fucking around playing Moby Dick for a bit, and then you just got up and walked away. And I'm like, that's fucking great.
Adam was. That's awesome.
Well, and this is why we really kind of force our kids to take piano lessons and to start something musical because the opportunities that I got because I could play drums were just, I mean, it's silly what I was able to do just because I could play drums. But again, my parents said, hey, you gotta do this formal education thing.
Yeah, no,
it's great. So I played all over the world and met my wife through bands and my kids.
What'd you play?
My wife plays trumpet, so she was in the Ohio State marching band.
Nice.
And
Ohio State marching band! Wow,
yeah, she was legit.
Wow,
so that's how we met.
Too.
So, what's that?
You're legit too.
Well, she was. Yeah, she was.
The Ohio State.
Yeah, so tell me about that before you get to that.
Wolverines fan, but I understand.
Yeah, we like Michigan, but I have respect. My neighbor here, I'm in Charlotte. I'm in a small town outside of Charlotte. My neighbor's sister is in the Ohio State band right now. I think
wow.
There's Ohio State Michigan fans everywhere in my neighborhood. It's crazy. But so right after high school, where did you go? Because did you go to college first and then the Guard or?
So the Guard, I went to basic training right after I graduated.
Okay.
That was a 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer gig for 20 years. So I did that while I lived a normal life. So I went to BG and studied business there. That was an interesting decision because it was my first real big adult decision, like this fork in the road, because I auditioned for the music school with Roger Shoup, who's like a legend, and I got accepted into the music school.
Okay.
And then I thought, man, do I want to do this for a career, or I also like this business idea? So I chose to go the business route since I already had the Air Force band as a hobby,
Hmm.
to do
Nice.
both. So it felt like
Yeah.
So that's sort of a
it was,
reckoning for you. You had to decide if you want to
yeah.
make it a career or a hobby, and you were like, well, I'll do hobby at
And
that moment.
you never know if it was the right thing, but I really,
Oh, but no, it's a stable indulgence, man.
Well, like I always like to say, if I'm ever unsure about a path, I just assume if I would have gone the other path, it would have been bad. So if you would have chosen music as a career, you would have been the drummer for
Yeah.
a band, and you would have got a cocaine addiction,
yeah,
and
exactly.
you
Yeah.
would you would
At
have
best, you would have
because
done
you play
well
so many
enough to
gigs and
get
you
a
don't have
coke
time, and
addiction.
yeah, and then you would have flown a plane into a bus.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, maybe you just would have been on the plane or the bus
yeah,
that the
you
plane
would be
was
on a
for,
Yeah, I
bus.
didn't have to fly it or drive it.
Yeah, that you
And a
could have
plane would
just been,
crash.
yeah.
There was something with Ozzy, like one of his people
Well,
got.
yeah,
Yeah,
Randy
Yeah,
Rhodes
Randy
Rhodes.
Rhodes. Yeah, that
flew
would
a
have happened
plane
to you.
into the trip.
So you chose correctly.
Well, I chose what I chose, the business path. But yeah, and then I also want to finish one last Kathy McGrady story.
Oh yeah, let's
Oh,
go back.
please.
Yeah, Kathy
Another.
McGrady.
No,
So I
Well,
think it
please.
she
was,
is my friend on Facebook, so there should in the future be a Kathy McGrady episode
wow.
when we get to the K's.
That would be amazing. So she in the summers does something called Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp, where she
Oh,
is. It's about 4 hours away, and kids go to camp for 2 weeks to focus on their instrument or their dance or whatever.
Oh,
So
cool.
my
nice.
daughters have, I think all of them have gone there. So my daughters have gone there. 2 years ago, Kathy McGrady came into Perrysburg schools to talk about Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp. My daughter comes home and she's like, that woman wouldn't stop talking about you. She saw my last name and she's like, I need to tell you about your dad when he was, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And my daughter's like, how were you good?
What? She has no idea about your
No,
skill.
like, but it was just amazing that anytime a teacher remembers you, first of all, and
Hmm.
says nice things about you,
Yeah.
it just blows my
Yeah,
mind.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
that's just
Yeah, because they have
wonderful.
so many kids every
Yeah.
year. But I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all that she still talks like she
Well,
was obsessed with Adam
Well,
Cufr's
we had a
skill.
really good connection. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's the band person. She was 100% into what she did. Like she's a
Yeah.
music person. She is into it and knows it. Like she lives it. I mean, I've never seen anybody more into it. And I think she's
She,
probably a great band
yeah.
director. I mean,
Oh,
I have
yeah,
no
no.
idea, but I think she's well known and good. I mean, I never doubted that she was great at it and gets it. And so somebody comes along that's dedicated and practicing and
that's it.
good, and you have the
I try
skill.
really hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dedicated
yeah.
practice. You're a fucking drummer that has a good head on your shoulders. You know
Yeah.
enough drummers to know that's a rarity.
And now it's
You
well, see,
know,
more of it's coming back to me too. That
there's a reason why Animal exists.
yeah, I
That's
think
all I'm
yeah, Animal
saying.
from
It's
the
not
Muppet
an
Show. Yeah,
insult. I love a lot of drummers.
yeah, I
I
love
just played
Animal.
that video for one of my kids. I'm like, you don't, I said, Animal's a drummer. Like, what? I'm like,
Yeah,
no, here's the Animal Buddy Rich drum battle.
yeah.
Yeah, that
But like,
exists. That's a
but
thing.
that's a yeah.
So, do your kids play drums, or do they play different things?
Not categorically, no. I mean, they can play a groove. So we have two drum sets in my drum studio, a little one and a big one.
Okay.
So we do this kind of play and repeat, but they never really took to it until one of my daughters, the one who talked to Kathy McGrady, she wanted to play drums at Perrysburg, and they said, we're full. We can't take any more
Oh,
drummers. And
Oh,
so like
man.
she plays violin and she studies privately and she's doing
okay,
great.
good.
But
Nice.
she wanted to play drums, but we go out occasionally and just we'll groove, it's kind of fun.
That's
Nice.
cool. So maybe there's always time for that. That she can always go
Maybe
with that later. How many kids do you have?
6 daughters.
Six daughters. You said six. I
Wow.
thought you said six.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah,
And what are
they're
the
pretty
age
cool.
age
Can't
ranges?
support that on a fucking musician's.
Yeah, yeah. Good thing you did the business thing. You knew you were
Yeah,
gonna
you
have.
wouldn't have six kids with a coke
I'm
habit
gonna
and a
have six
plane
kids. No,
license.
I can't be
So
in a band. It
yeah,
might not
This is
work
true.
out.
These are all true statements. But yeah, so yes, the ages. My oldest is 22 and lives in Paris.
Wow. Holy cow. Wow.
She's really ambitious. My
Paris, Michigan.
yeah. Paris, Paris. Yeah. So she lives in Paris. I have a sophomore at UT studying biology.
Okay.
I have a senior at Perrysburg,
Okay.
and then I have twins who are sophomores at Perrysburg,
Okay.
and then I have a 7-year-old
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
because we didn't plan very well. But
Well, no, families happen.
But there's
yeah,
a reason that 7-year-old's there. That 7-year-old's
Yeah.
probably
she's
going to
super
save the
cool.
world. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's
going to save the
great.
world. Yeah.
Nice.
And the
And
twins kind of, I'm not saying that they don't
we
count. Of course they
well, yeah, but we
count.
did.
But it
I'm not
makes a
saying
little
they
more sense how
cancel
you
each
got to
other out.
6. So
Yeah,
there's twins in there. Okay. Now, if you had a 6 and there weren't twins in there, like, come on, man.
yeah,
Just, do you have to keep
yeah.
making them? But yeah, that happened. The twins pop in there.
Well,
Um,
and so they're a unique story, if I may indulge.
yeah,
Oh,
So
please do.
we had three daughters, and then we found out we had twins. And fairly early on in the pregnancy, we found out that my wife, there was something called twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, which is where
Oh,
here's some details you probably didn't need to know, but they share a
no.
placenta, and
Yeah.
one of
okay.
them, for reasons that are still unknown, takes the majority of the blood, the nutrients, and the other one doesn't have as much.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
an unequal sharing.
Yeah.
So usually that ends in death. And
Yeah.
so we end up going through these treatments starting at 16 weeks but they were born 1 pound, 5 ounces and 1 pound, 11 ounces.
Oh, my
Wow.
goodness.
They were three
Oh,
months early.
so
So we
they're
had,
miracles too,
oh
then.
my gosh. So we had
Yeah.
3 kids at home, and
Hmm.
then 2 kids in intensive care. One was in the hospital for a year.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
And my wife went there every single day to be
Oh,
with them.
how bad.
So I was home with the 3 girls for the most part, trying to maintain my career. And the guy that I worked for decided that I wasn't paying enough attention to the job.
Oh, no.
So we went through a really, really difficult time. And
Mm.
so that was horrible, horrible.
Hmm.
And I will say that what it did for me was it gave me a lot more empathy because I'm
Nice.
like, man, this is brutal. And I know everybody's got a story, but it made me
Yeah.
stop and say, wow, what is your story? What happened with you? So that was pretty wild. So then we thought we would not have any more kids.
Hmm.
They're doing great now. Like I said, they're sophomores at Perrysburg.
So that really, like you said, that gives you
That's
this
wonderful that you
empathy.
came out with so much grace. That's fucking beautiful,
Yeah.
man.
And I mean, because a lot of people, who knows how that affects a
Yeah,
person?
no, that
Like
just,
that's like the brink of panic,
Well,
like,
it's tough on marriages, that's
oh,
for
in a
sure.
marriage.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, anytime you struggle. I mean,
Well, yeah.
yeah,
So
we're
we,
humans and you struggle and you get to your survival instincts and you're not, throw out the door. Everything else is just I can't imagine that. I mean, I've never had a struggle that bad. And we've all struggled sometimes, but oh my God. So were you in Perrysburg then when that was
yeah, we were in
happening?
Perrysburg, and to get through that, I end up starting. I blogged a lot, so
Did you?
we had a blog and an email list that started to grow, people that wanted updates, and so I regularly communicated about that. That eventually caught the attention of Mr. Laird
Oh,
from
Tim
Northwood,
Laird. Yes.
Nice.
and that led to them naming me as Alumni of the Year, which was
Okay.
weird, a weird reason to get it, but they
Yeah.
saw how we were handling all of this. And so that was a really interesting thing to go back to Northwood to be
Yeah.
recognized for talking
Yep.
about my kids. And so
Yeah.
it
So
felt,
you
Nice.
were doing that blog and the newsletter at the time,
yeah,
and what a creative way to do that. And I'm sure everything
Mhm.
you put out there is something that helps other people who might go through that stuff, right? Or have to deal with
I
those
hope
things.
so. It helped me
Yeah.
just to
Well,
Yeah.
find a way to process it. It was brutal. Like I'm 83 years old underneath.
Yeah. In that,
yeah.
in that,
Well,
You
no,
know?
on the
that was a
inside.
lot of life crammed into
Yeah.
that
Yeah, that's
fucking year.
crazy. Yeah,
Plus.
so gosh, so many questions. So Tim Laird, for the listeners, is a teacher of ours, our English teacher from high school, who I also enjoyed very much and had some interaction. He came to Chicago and saw a couple plays I was in.
No way. That's
And
so cool.
I got to actually go out and have drinks with his wife and him. Like they stayed and came out with my improv team. Like we all
Wow.
came out and they saw us do an improv. I think it was an improv show. I know he saw an improv show I did, I think, and I think he saw a play I was in, and he and his wife, he actually brought out, this is something coming back to me. He brought a class of students to Chicago. They were going to see a play or something or do something else, but I think they all came to see a play I was in. And so maybe we weren't drinking that. I think it was multiple times he came. I know he brought students, and I was like,
Wow.
Why couldn't you take us to Chicago? You get to go to Chicago and
Because there was no Joe Hunsaker out there yet.
no, yeah. So I
There's
met
no
them
reason to
somewhere at a
go.
restaurant at one point, but it was another time he and his wife came to see an improv show, I think, and they hung out in my neighborhood in Chicago and like drank beer outside with us, and we are all playing this drinking game. It was kind of like a Kevin Bacon 6 Degrees
Oh,
game.
wow.
We were all playing that. But but he was a great English teacher. Looks like George Jetson. His wife is great. And so yeah, I'm actually still friends with his wife on Facebook because later years she was a special ed. She was a
Mhm.
principal in I think in Perrysburg. My
Yeah, they're
wife was
Perrysburg people now, yeah.
yeah,
Or they
and my
were.
wife was a special ed teacher at in Perrysburg for 1 year, and so she
Really?
was like, "Do you know Robin Laird?" I was like, "Yeah, I know Robin Laird. How do you know? She's the principal." Oh
Wow.
my gosh, this is great! So she actually just donated to my wife's classroom this year and was very, very generous. So yeah, she's great. So yeah, great people. So that's cool that Tim Laird found you there and brought you back for Alumni of the Year. Wow. So okay, so we jumped from one to
Yeah.
another through
Take
catching
charge
Brady.
here.
But there's a time portal. But we'll go back. So because we're still like you went to Bowling Green, you went into business. Tell me a little bit about just and see you might already know this. So if you're just like, no, everybody knows
No,
that, Joe, shut up. But
no,
the
this is all.
service thing that I military is like the last thing I understand or know about. I've known some people in the National Guard. I mean, how did you figure out you wanted to do that service industry or that in addition to college and how does it work? Like you said, it's like you sign up and you're doing it for 20 years and it's they pay you or is it they only pay you when you serve or is it like training? Like, I don't know, because she would like work with us. She was my boss at Woodley. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, see you later. I'm going to be gone for 3 months. I have to go. They're shipping me to somewhere. She was the National Guard. I don't know if she was Air National Guard, and she'd go. And I was like, and I'd always ask her, like, what are you doing when you're gone? Like
Yeah.
your
She
boot
was on a
camp? Like they're making you do
deployment.
push-ups and
Yeah.
like yeah, like you have to go to different deploy them when there's unrest or whatever. But help me understand some of that, like how you got into it, and then how it works for those
Sure. Yeah.
listening.
So I got into it because my drum teacher was in it. And so
Okay.
he's like, hey, there's this thing. You really should check it out. And I'm like, whatever. That sounds crazy. So he helped me prepare for the audition. I went out and auditioned and it went well, but that turned into a 6 year commitment of 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer. So being in the band, that was my whole job, was band. And
Oh,
so
I was totally, completely didn't
that
understand. You had to
my
audition to get into it. It wasn't like
yeah.
you didn't like join the army, go through boot camp, and then just happen to play the band for fun. Like you were there to be a band member.
Right. But I had to go to Air Force basic training boot camp to
Oh,
satisfy the training that I needed to be
oh,
Air National Guard. So I
gotcha.
went to basic training with all the other basic training people, all the other guardsmen that were doing everything from special operations to food services to
Hmm.
my nephew now. He is a mechanic on the F-16s out of
Oh,
the
cool.
80th. So we were in base training with all those folks. But when I was done with that, most people go on to a military technical school, which
Hmm.
could be 6 weeks, 6 months, 2 years. My technical school was to take music classes at Bowling Green State University.
Oh, okay.
So it was amazing. It was amazing.
Now,
So
is there rules like you have to be kind of like you're on probation or something? Like you can't, if you get caught drinking beer or smoking pot or
not for
smoking
that,
cigarettes,
no.
no kind of things
No.
like that.
So I just had to report for my 1 weekend a month during all of that. And then
Hmm.
for me, 1 weekend a month was we would go to the base and we would rehearse typically on a Saturday, and then
Hmm.
we would go out and play a gig somewhere on a Sunday.
That was your
Nice.
service. So
Yeah.
you're not like having a gun. Like, do you have to have a gun
No.
and
I
stuff?
was trained, we were all trained on M16s.
Yeah.
So there's a picture my wife and I happen to have where we are both cleaning our M16s in uniform together.
Oh my
So it's kind
God.
of cool. But like
Oh,
we would only use M16s to pass the marksman test
yeah.
once a year to stay
Okay.
relevant, to stay trained. But then there was always and again, your 6 year minimum commitment of doing that. And if you do 6 years, then my college was paid for. But I was
Okay.
always making an hourly wage for my drill weekends, is what they call
Okay.
them. And then I chose to stay on and then continue to like re-enlist, and then I got to 20, which allowed me to fully retire,
Mhm.
which there's benefits that come with that. So
Yeah.
it was a really, really good part-time job because it was
That's
awesome.
really cool. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
that seems
No,
like
our
if
our
yeah.
our National Guard service is more than a viable option.
I wish I would have
You
known.
know,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like I'm an idiot when it comes to that kind of stuff. But the downside is if there's a huge disaster or civil
Yeah.
unrest, you might have to go and use your M16 on
Yeah.
somebody,
Well,
you
and
know?
that did come up where it was sort of my unit, the band, was asked to deploy to the Middle East to support the troops to play concerts, almost like a USO type
Yeah,
of
like
thing.
USO type
Okay.
thing. Bob
Yeah.
Hope.
Yeah. But it coincided with when our twins were born and in intensive care and given a 20% chance of survival.
Oh.
Basically, they looked at me and they said, Adam, what do you think? And I said, man, this other drummer really wants to go.
Hmm.
And if you ask him, would that be okay?
Hmm.
So, like, if I were trying to run for vice president of the United States right now, they would say,
Hmm.
oh, he bailed on his service.
Oh yeah, they bring out all that bullshit. Yeah, yeah.
But there were well, three drummers, including me, that could have done the gig. Another
Yeah.
one's like, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, can he go in my place? And he did a great job. He loved it, and he's got memories that I don't have of being over there for
Yeah.
what was it, like 6 months or something, 6 weeks or 2 months or something like that.
Well, because if you would have gone, then he would have had to stay at your house and take care of your daughter.
Yeah, that's
That would
right.
have been a really
And your
weird
wife
thing
probably
to
would
go
end up
through.
liking him better, you know.
Oh, absolutely. You talk to me now.
Probably.
You
He
know
was
that would have
here, you
happened.
know, he was here.
Yeah.
You were off gallivanting in
Oh,
Iraq
that's
or whatever it
funny.
was.
I haven't put
Uh,
that together. Yeah.
no, but that's
Well, that's
cool.
how
So
that works,
but
right?
that's another path that you went on that because of this didn't happen, you know, and this guy and that guy is probably like, I only did this because this guy had this thing, and this is a thing that. So now your wife, when you met her, now how quickly when you enlisted and started all that, did you like, oh my God, look at that trumpet player? Like, how did that happen, and where's she
I
from?
like the
It's
way
a
she
really great
blows that
question, by the
horn.
way. When you're married, you have like six stories that you tell every time you go out to dinner with someone because you
Yep.
don't have that much to draw upon.
Yeah.
So the way it worked is I was in the percussion section, the drum section in the back of the concert band. We're rehearsing, and the door opens at the front, and this family walks in, including my wife, and she brought her parents and her grandparents, like tight-knit family. But no kidding, like ha she walks in the front, half the band looked at her and then turned around and looked at me. It was like a group love at first sight.
Like
It was crazy.
they all knew you guys belonged together.
Yeah.
That's
So that night, so
outstanding.
while when they take her off to audition, and she's doing her thing. Her parents and grandparents are in the back of the room by the drum section.
Yeah.
I just start talking to them, and it turned out that one of the other drummers, she had a birthday party that night at the distillery, and yet one of the
Distillery.
other drummers, Clark Brooks, one of my favorite drummers, amazing guy, his band was playing at the distillery, and we were having a birthday party. So I asked my now wife, I said, hey, everybody's going to this party tonight at the distillery. Do you want to go along? You can ride with me if you want. And she's like, okay. And she was like 17.
Oh boy.
I was
You were
what,
41?
19. I was,
Okay.
yeah, 41. Yeah. This was last Thursday. Yeah. So she says, yeah, I'll go with you. And so I had happened to be playing drums for Guys and Dolls at Clay High School.
Oh,
They asked me to
really?
come play the drums in the pit.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, once I'm done there, I'll meet you at my parents' house and we'll ride together from there. I was 2 hours late. She sat with my parents for 2 hours making small talk.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh no, poor thing.
So I get there and I walk in and she just looks at me like, what did you do? Why? And my parents are great. They're easy to
Yeah.
talk to.
Yeah, I'm sure they were. But you were probably like, you should have said, you made me sit with your parents in the back of that room while I'm drumming.
I wasn't that smart.
No,
I was
yeah.
too enamored with
Too
her
enamored.
beauty, and yeah.
Yeah.
We went to the bar. We had to get special permission from older people to get into the bar because
Right.
we were
1917, yeah.
yeah. And I just remember we were listening to the band, and so since it was so loud, she would try to say something to me and she would like try to whisper or try to yell in my ear, and her nose would brush my ear. And I was like, oh, she's so great.
And you love that so much.
She smelled great. I remember what she was
Oh.
wearing. And then I was attending BGSU, and remember, she was still in high school, but she
Mhm.
was taking classes at BGSU through that, what it's called, CCP now or whatever.
I don't know.
Email was brand
Stephen.
new. So
Email
I
was new.
emailed
Yeah.
her. I didn't know
Yeah.
how to email. I didn't know context clues.
Yeah.
So I emailed her and said, "Hey, when you're on campus, come up to my dorm room. I've got orange popsicles. We can have popsicles." And so, innocent enough, she read that as, "Oh, you think I'm a child?"
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was
Oh,
offended by that.
She was offended by that. So we didn't
Yeah.
talk for a
yeah.
year. And I was like, "What is
Oh,
this?"
Wow.
And
you really had popsicles and just wanted to
Yeah,
share
no,
them, right?
you,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it
Uh,
You
seemed
weren't fucking around. That was,
oh my
I
God, she was
know this
upset.
was real stuff. So
yeah.
a year later, we're on our annual 2 weeks of training. She got in the band. She went through basic training. So we're on our 2 weeks of annual
Okay.
training, and we were having a party at Dave's room. And I was walking to Dave's room, and there was a laundry room. And I look over, and she's doing laundry by herself.
Oh,
I just look in there. We hadn't talked because she was mad at. I was like, "Hey, we're all going down to Dave's room. Do you want to come along?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do." So she comes down to the party. We hit it off, and happily ever after. We broke up with our
Nice.
respective girlfriend, boyfriends when we got back, and we've been
okay.
together ever since.
So,
Nice.
how long did it take before you found out that the popsicle line was the problem? Like, how long did
I,
that take?
I think it was that
It
night.
wasn't. I know you should have talked.
There was alcohol involved, and
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
So
It
and
opened you up.
Twizzlers.
Yeah, yeah. You open. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So the party in Dave's room this was on BGSU's campus?
No, this was in South Dakota at our two
Oh,
weeks of annual
oh,
training.
oh, at your annual training where you go somewhere. Okay. In South Dakota in Dave's room. Like
Yeah.
hotel room, you mean, right?
It
Like
was yeah, it was a hotel room, I think,
okay.
or maybe it was on base, but we
Or
played
base thing, yeah.
we played a number of places, but the best gig, it's actually in my professional bio, which says we played 4th of July at Mount Rushmore with Miss America.
What?
That was our gig,
Nice.
that 4th of July.
That was
Nice.
the
Laser
same
show.
time where you got back together with
Yeah.
your wife? And oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool. So,
Yeah.
like I said, played drums, things, just happened. It was super cool. So yeah, we started dating then, and then,
Oh, that's
we got
wonderful.
married a couple years later.
Now is she from a high school around Bowling Green?
Woodmore,
Oh, Woodmore. Okay. Yeah.
more
Woodmore.
Wildcats.
Woodmore Wildcats. So we got
Remember how
them.
good their band was?
Were they good? I don't remember. Were they really good?
They always did a light show where they put lights on their instruments, and they were so much better than we were.
See, I
I don't remember that at
I
all.
never saw it.
Yeah,
All I remember is that we got a
Yeah.
fight with them after a football game one
sure
time.
did.
Yep.
And I think back because I think something I always hoped would happen, but I've never prepared for was an all-out brawl. And I wasn't prepared. I was
Oh.
like, who do I hit? I don't know what. A bar fight. It's like a bar fight. It's
Yeah.
like it's an
Well, I mean, if you think about it, going
Suddenly
Northwood,
permission to
we
hit
got into
any.
a few brawls.
We did Toledo
Yeah.
Christian one time, a basketball game, and
Yeah.
again with that one too. I was like, I couldn't find somebody to hit soon enough. I kept like, I'm gonna hit. Oh, that's an old man. Oh, it's a child. Who do I hit in a bar
And then it
fight?
was over.
So I've still to this day never had a successful bar fight. I've never known who to hit. I got to. So from now when I go to someplace, I just pick out a couple people.
Oh my God, fun.
Yes,
If a bar
I'm
fight
gonna
starts,
fight
who
that
am I
guy
gonna hit?
because it's got to be somebody that's respectable to hit, but also someone that can take. So it's got to be
Yeah.
like different. Yeah. So I try to get people drunk so that they're the person I hit. I'm just kidding. I don't do that. But that's all. Oh,
Buy
what a
random
great story!
people
That's a great
shots.
story. So she's a Woodmore Wildcat. So class of I would have to guess class of 95.
She
Probably.
was 90, yeah, 95, 95.
95. Yeah, because you're
Yeah,
17,
she was
19.
2 years younger than me.
Well, that's cool. That's a great story. And she's a trumpet
Yeah.
player. And now what does she do for her day?
She's a mom of 6 girls.
Oh,
She
yeah,
was
got
she
6
stayed
kids.
in the guard for 24 years.
Oh my gosh. So she's retired too.
Yeah, she retired, but she's got about 100 birds and a huge specialty cut flower garden that she's turning into a small
Oh.
business, and
Okay.
Wonderful.
So when you say 100 birds,
chickens, ducks,
Oh,
geese,
those
guineas,
kind of things. Gotcha.
turkeys.
Okay. So you kind
I
of
was
like a
just
farm.
picturing a Disney princess, honestly. Just
Oh, you
kinda
did
like,
say. you did say a farm. You were like, "Hey, I got to be on a
Yeah.
farm." So you have
It's
a
our
farm at
micro
your
farm.
house? Is that your house or is it?
It's our micro farm. It's
Okay.
at our house. We're in Perrysburg, surrounded by beautiful homes, and we have this 4.25 acre micro farm in the middle of it.
That's
Nice.
So
awesome.
weird.
That's cool. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
The last guy we had, Adam, the last Adam we had, the first Adam we had, Adam Bianchi, he grew up on a farm in South Carolina, and it was mainly just like, what did he say, vegetables. Didn't
Mhm.
really have any tried animals one year, it didn't work. But so our second Adam, who's got a farm, the
Amazing.
second farmer Adam,
Yeah.
so two
Yeah.
farmer Adams. I
Well,
want
Carrie
to
grew up
talk.
on she grew up on a real farm where they still farm corn and beans and all that stuff.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I guess out in Woodmore.
I
That's
grew
right.
up near farms on Bradner Road where you see the Woodville Mall from
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
rest in peace, Woodville Mall.
Ah, just
On
kills me. Just kills me.
Yeah, because that was your neighborhood. Well,
All of our neighborhood.
you heard of us talk
Yeah.
about how on probably a previous episode how where we went to school, depending on who we played each week, we were either the dirty farm boys or we were the dirty city
Yeah,
boys.
exactly.
Yeah.
We were like nothing. We were in between. We were whatever.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about those books. Are those books over your shoulder? Are those the books you wrote?
One of them is I've got books back there that I wrote, and that book, and then so the first book is called Off the Record, which what I do for a day job, and I have for 24 years now, is retirement planning.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, you're like, okay, that's
Yeah,
boring,
I
but
need. Well, no,
No,
it's
it's needed,
it's
dude.
very good
Yeah.
because I screwed up and I haven't done that, so I need help. No, I have a
Mhm.
retirement thing, but I don't understand any of it. I hate it. I see that. I
I
don't know
know.
what these numbers mean. Help. So
Fortunately, that gives me career or job security because
yeah,
people don't always love it. So
yeah,
we help people that are generally they're nearing retirement, they're five
yeah,
years away or less. So we help
yeah,
them prepare for retirement, all the investing stuff, income planning, all that sort of thing. And then we continue to work with them through retirement because as people get older, they start to become more frail, they become
Yeah.
less
Things pop
cognitively
up.
able.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Ailments happen. You're susceptible to
Yeah.
things. Falls.
Bones shatter.
Yeah, you get
You make it
incontinent.
sound cool.
You shit in
Well, I mean,
pants.
it's fun. Your sanity phrase, your bones shatter, your
These are all
bowels
early Metallica
release.
songs, aren't they?
Bowel
Well,
release.
kind of, yeah.
No, so
Yeah.
that's cool. Okay, so retirement. So your first book is about retirement
Yeah, it's called
planning,
Off
and
the Record, which is a musical themed book about retirement planning.
you're kidding.
So to try to make it
Nice.
spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down,
Yeah,
typically when
yeah.
Yeah,
I write in a way that is kind of metaphor driven, like, oh, retirement planning is like playing the drums, or it's
yeah,
like flying a hot air balloon or something you might actually have interest in.
Enjoy
yeah.
and still hold
Yeah.
your attention. Yeah.
So tell
So
me how you get from being a retirement planner guy with all these kids and a drum studio in your room and a farm to I should write a book about this. Like, did somebody ask you, hey, you have expertise in this, you should write a book, or there aren't books on this and we need one with a music? Like, where did you like what popped up oh, I should write a book?
So I was listening to before podcasts were a thing, there was a CD that I got
Uh-huh.
from somebody talking to somebody that I really respected.
Yeah.
And they were just talking about how powerful a book can be to help people understand your I guess your work without them having to sit in front of you. So in other words, if I can get books out, people can absorb it at their own pace. And so I ended up getting connected with a publisher. And then in 2014, right away, it got released after working on it for a long time. For years, just on my laptop when I was bored, I was working on my money manifesto, which
Okay.
was basically what do I believe about money. So I had this book in the making, but I didn't know it was a book in the making until I was connected with this publisher. They're like, well, let's
Okay.
talk about this. And so
Yeah.
it turned into Off the Record, Secrets to Building a Successful Retirement and a Lasting Legacy.
Wow.
And so that ended up being really helpful because then if somebody said, they would say, hey, I want to come into your office and talk to you about my stuff. We send them a book before they come in so they can kind of familiarize themselves with, I think, a little bit about me, and our family,
Mhm.
but how
Yeah.
we do what we do and how to
Mhm.
prepare for it. So that was really powerful. And then I ended up revising it years later. But then the next book I wrote was I'd been writing a weekly newsletter. I wrote it for 5 years every week. So, at the end of this, I've got
Yeah.
250, give or take, 600 word articles basically. And
Mm-hmm.
so I piled those into the book called Here I Made This For You,
Nice.
which, if you, it's got like tape on, it's like, looks
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
tape and everything's stuck on here.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful.
And so what's that? What is the is that about what you're going through with your kids when they were,
Was that just
This
about
one is
that it
more,
was
again, it's more retirement planning stuff. It's what I do,
okay.
but it's more of like is the right word compendium? Like it's putting all of my writings that I had done
Mhm.
over the five
I
years in
think
one
compendium would
place.
work. Yeah, I
But
think
they're
compendium would
generally
work.
themed on the business, on the retirement
They're
and
business things, but
yeah.
again, I talk about things in a way that kind of come at it from a
Different
different.
angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's so cool.
if each of those entries is a facet, that entire book is a gem.
Wow.
That's pretty good,
Something like
Steve.
that.
That
Thanks, man.
wasn't bad.
Thanks.
That's why you're here, my friend.
I
It's not
appreciate
just for
it.
your movie star good looks and your former Prince Albert.
Eh,
Oh,
Every now
man.
and again, I spit out a pretty good bumper sticker.
I can see that.
Thanks, man. I
Dude, that
appreciate
is
it.
awesome. So it's just the two book. Well, you have the second version of the first one, and then
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I'm
the
working on one now that it's my favorite so far, but we're on chapter 3. So it's still pretty new, but
You can still learn to hate it. It's okay.
I know there's still time.
There's
Right
still
now it's
time.
like the
It's just
idea,
so fresh,
hmm
it's yeah,
so fresh and new.
So
it's
when
like
you
I'm at
work
the
with
point.
is
Go
it hard
ahead.
to find a publisher? Like, or did somebody just
Well,
connected? You just met
they
somebody?
somebody led me to them. So
Yeah,
I honestly didn't do that much due diligence,
yeah.
but it worked out well. But the thing that's really cool about, I guess, what I do is like it's kind of like what you're doing. I get to talk to people.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm an introvert though, but people assume that what I do is all about numbers, but
Mhm.
really that's just kind of a byproduct. It's more
Yeah.
about, tell me what you want to accomplish. What are your hopes? What are your dreams? What's the thing
Where do
you're
you
doing
want to be?
at night?
Who do you
Mhm.
want
So
to change your diaper?
that's an unfortunate component of this. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well, and you probably have
My
people
mom
that,
was
yeah. Do you want
like,
to
I know a lot of
travel?
people in home health care and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah. Home health care is a hard. Yeah, that's well, but that's about people too. I met a lady
Oh
last
yeah.
night at this festival that I was at working, and
And
she just was hanging out, getting ready to leave, and she was a She was a I can't remember her day, or she's like a customer service person by day, but at night she's a hospice nurse. Like she had
wow.
two jobs, and I was
yeah,
like, hospice
that's a
nurse. She's like,
hard role.
I just never let that go because it's so rewarding. And we're like,
Yeah.
rewarding. I'm like, I would think that's the hardest thing. Like, it is the hardest thing in the world. Don't get me wrong. I have days where I cry and I bawl and whatever. But I've made so many lifelong family members and friends through
Wow.
this. Like at the end of it, they give me their number and like, please keep in
Yeah,
touch with
you're
us.
walking a
Been here.
path,
Yeah.
man. You're walking a
And
path with a
yeah.
person that's hard to walk. You
And she
know,
was talking about
they
how she
can't
just
see
helps
it. They don't
people
know
who,
where it is.
yeah, they don't know the questions to ask. They don't know what they're doing and how they don't know how to act. End of life is a very hard thing. And so
It is.
that kind of reminds me of kind of what you're talking about. It's like she gets to talk to people and meet people, and
Yeah.
she knows most of the people she knows is from doing that. And it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
and then you get to that's where we're all in this world. We're all in this
Yeah.
existence just for a short time, and whoever we interact with is all you get. Like there's a ton of people you'll never meet or ever talk to, so
Yeah.
you got to talk to the ones around you and get to know them. There's just people around that have great stories, and you don't
Oh
know.
yeah. No,
It's
we're
great.
a wonderful creature.
Yeah, we're a wonderful. It's an
Yeah.
odd thing. Like the whole thing is odd. Like I spent a lot of time thinking, like, what are we
It's
doing here?
odd, but
It's a simulation
same
or are we a video game?
same
What's
goal.
going on?
Well,
Oh
I mean, those
man,
are
the
fun.
simulation theory.
Well,
Yeah, those are
I
fun.
talked to Neil deGrasse Tyson about that a couple of times because he's come to our theater like three
I
times
talked
and
to NDG,
a little
NGT, what,
NGT, is that right?
NDT,
And
yeah,
ND.
something. The GT.
He doesn't like to
DG.
call that, I don't think. But no, he's
Probably
got a
not.
thing when he
No.
comes and speaks, I think every 2 years at our venue, and we sell a lot of tickets, and everybody wants to hear him talk about science and everything. But one of his
I
things
like to
is
listen to
he
him.
sells books, and there's a VIP ticket. There's like 100 that and you pay $150, you get his signed book, and you get to meet him for a second. So he's got to sign those books ahead of time. So he's like,
Mhm.
I need 2 or 3 people to help me. Uh, sign the books. Like I need one person to hand me a shirt, one person to hold the book open, one person to pass it down the line, one person to hold the book open, one person,
Yeah, got a
but
system.
really what I've discovered after the third time doing it with him is he just wants to talk to somebody. Like he gets lonely on the road and he just wants to talk because he talks from the second he walks in the door. He's already talking, and then he doesn't stop until the show starts.
Wow.
But he'll take your questions like, "What do you want to talk about? What are you into?" What he'll like give you a menu of 3 things. And last time he said, "Hey, what do you want to listen to? I got my phone here. What genre of music?" And the girl that was with me was like opera and or classical, and so he played some Beethoven. He played the one from Die Hard. What's the big one from Die Hard?
Oh, Ode to Joy? Is that Ode to Joy?
I
No.
can't remember what it's called, but he was like,
It's the Die Hard song.
he would
Die Hard
tell
1
you
song.
the
Die
like
Hard 3.
origin of how he wrote it and why the drums come in at this time and why that he like, wait, hold on, and now this is going to come into. Did you know that in 1865 this
That sounds
happened?
just
You know
like
what? Like all these things.
It's
like,
composer's daybook.
yeah, all kinds of crazy like stories that went along with what was happening in Russia at the time and all this stuff.
Oh,
And so, one time we just talked about starting, but one time we talked about, I said, "Are we living in a simulation? Come clean." And he was like, "We might be."
You might
But
be.
he said, "If we are, we're either the first or the last, because either we're the first
program a
civilization that's good, that's
simulation.
making a simulation, or we're the last one and we just haven't figured it out yet."
What was the fucking basilisk theory? It's a simulation thing that when you say it's like a specific type of, the name is something basilisk. And the fact that we talk about it means it is real and that
Ooh.
it is the simulation. It's
Like sort of like speaking something to an existence type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
kind of,
That's-
yeah,
that's-
it's just that it's that applied to the simulation.
Okay. Well, that book was out what was that book? The Secret, that was out for a while. It was like
Yeah.
Oh,
all you have to
about
do is say what you
manifestation.
want, and it happens. Yeah.
That's-
Gosh, Adam, this was really cool. All these, see, that's the thing. I had no idea you wrote books at all. I'm so mesmerized by that. That's
I didn't
really
know
cool.
you had a farm. I didn't know you wrote books either, but I'm happy
I didn't know
that
you
you
had a
have your little
farm.
micro farm.
Right, micro
in your
farm.
head.
Make sure, we got to
Yeah.
put the micro there because we're not out there.
No, yeah,
here, but
but
And-
and
we
God
had
bless you
pigs.
for knowing the difference.
Did
got
you ever
pigs.
fly? Did you fly a
You-
plane?
You're a pig farmer.
Air National Guard, you didn't
I
get to
may
fly?
come to you one day with a favor.
Yeah, it's
No,
like
sorry.
everybody thinks that if you're in the Air National Guard, you fly planes. And by the way, we had 2 pigs for like 3 months, and we found out we are not good pig farmers.
Oh
Oh,
no.
well, I
What's
mean, that's-
what was the hang up? What was your problem?
Well,
What were you not good at?
All of it.
No.
My,
They're
one of
very
my twin
intelligent, they're
daughters.
very cute.
You have to know what you're doing. It turns out to be good at stuff. But my daughters went to the Pemberville Fair and they had a catch a pig contest. And, we had recently moved into this place. It's got a big barn and, that's where we live. So she caught a pig at the catch a pig contest. And my wife had been talking to people and found out they do better in pairs. So my wife bought her a second pig. So we bring these pigs home. We put them in our bird run, which is attached to the outside of the barn. These pigs are chewing holes in the barn.
Oh no.
They got loose one day. This was like during COVID when I was working at home.
No.
So the pigs, I'm sitting there at the kitchen table and somebody knocks at our door and I go to get the door and they're like, "Are these your pigs in the road?" I'm like, oh. So I not knowing what to do. My wife wasn't home. I go get a broom. I'm trying to use a broom.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna drive by and say, "Is that my financial advisor?"
Sweeping pigs across the
Sweeping
road.
pigs out of the road?
It was terrible.
That
Terrible.
is so great.
Well,
Yes.
if anyone stopped you and say, "Hey man, someone's got to clean these pigs."
Yeah.
Didn't you ever
Yes,
wonder how
sweep
this
'em up,
happened?
yeah. So in the end of that
Pigs just don't
experience,
leave the road.
we wrestled these pigs. I went and rented a U-Haul because we have no pickup truck because we're not
Okay.
real farmers, we're micro farmers.
You're micro farmers.
Yeah, rented a U-Haul with the ramp on it. And then we wrestled these pigs and tried to get them in the U-Haul. So then I drive the U-Haul down to the Bowling Green Fairgrounds where all the kids are supposed to bring their pigs back for the
Yeah.
auction. And like all these pickup trucks are pulling up and letting their pigs out. I pull up and they're like, "Can we help you?" I'm like, "I'm from Perrysburg." And they're like, okay.
I'm not a Pemberville farmer.
It was so weird.
That's
But I will
great.
say,
Grid adjacent.
yeah, we were as a Perrysburg person now, I do, because you're Northwood people and I just want to get this. I always
That's
tell
fine.
people that when I grew up in Northwood, I figured Perrysburg people were all snobs.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true. We are.
Oh wow. Well, hey, that'll happen. That'll happen.
It's inevitable.
So how about for financial planning right now? So are you taking new clients? And if so, do you want to plug where they can find you? Like if somebody wanted to
Oh
hire you after listening to
yeah.
this,
Put some
how do they find
links.
you?
So,
Post some
well, the
links.
name of the business is called Fourth Dimension Financial Group.
Okay.
So imagine height, width, depth, 3D. Fourth dimension is time. Neil deGrasse Tyson and I could debate whether that's true or not, but so much of what we do is time-based timing. In other words, time is really interesting for retirees. But that aside, so it's Fourth
Yeah.
Dimension Financial Group. It's fourthdimensionfinancial.com is our
Okay.
website,
Okay.
where you can even find pictures of some of our favorite birds from our micro farm.
Is that
If
right?
you look in my
Nice.
bio, you scroll down far enough, you can find the bird.
Does
Oh,
somebody have to
there's gonna
live
be a
in
link.
locally for you to be
No,
their advisor, or can they
I
be anywhere?
mean, most of our clients do start here, but then when they retire, a lot of them move away. So we
Okay.
maintain a Zoom relationship with
Okay.
them. But most people that we work with, it's usually, like I said, 2 to 5 years before they retire. So
Hmm.
we'll often meet people when they're 54 or 62.
Okay.
62 is, hey, we want to retire in the next 6 months or 2 years. 54 is, hey, the kids are out of the house. We need to really hit the ground
Yeah.
here running
Right.
and save a lot of money. So
Figure it out. Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, but
Nice.
really the people that we tend to be able to help the most are the people that are within a couple years of retirement.
Yep. Yep. That's cool. Yeah, no, my father-in-law was doing the steps and he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna. And then he finally just got to the point and he called his guys like, I'm done. You got to get me. You got to figure out how I can retire like
Right.
this year. And he was just
Yeah.
like done. He's always been a guy. He never cared about his job. He couldn't wait for retirement. And he's the first guy I've ever seen that. It's just like, I love it. I love retirement. He
Yeah.
goes on long walks. He does a lot of
Oh,
gardening and all kind. Like he is just a go, 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 walk, walk, walk guy. And so he's just loving it. He's so
That's
thrilled to
awesome.
be retired. So I'm jealous of him. But yeah,
my
that's
mom
great. And then
does
your
it.
books, are they available on Amazon, I
Yeah, you go on
assume?
Amazon, yeah, just search
Okay,
my name and you can find
cool.
yeah, so yeah, we're
So
out there.
I'll link those
Oh, okay, well,
in
that's
the
all right.
description
Yeah.
too. So those of you who want
I was
to.
just happy to talk to you guys.
No,
No,
that's
no,
cool. No,
I didn't think
I
you were trying to
love
shill shit, but
Rangers
we
supporting
like,
Rangers, baby.
yeah.
Yeah, this is
Danger,
cool.
danger,
Yeah.
right?
And I mean, that's the thing. Everybody's got something to talk about and then something to sell, probably, or like, let's
Well, I mean, just
celebrate
some like
accomplishments, man.
the
That's
sharing
great.
is the caring that we're getting to.
Yeah, we're getting
I
about your life.
love that.
Yeah,
I
what a
love it.
great man. And uh, I'm so proud of you, Adam, about your struggle that you went through and that you came through it such a
Not a bitter piece
enjoyable
of shit. You're
fellow.
a
Like, I
fucking
mean, you're
graceful
so
dude. Thank you,
good
man.
guy to talk to. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I think I would be an asshole if I had gone through all that. I'd be like, fuck you, what do you want? Like
Uh,
you're a very friendly gentleman and you've written books and it's so cool. And I mean, what a life. You've lived this whole life. This is great.
well, and like I'm sure you've figured this out too. You get to a point where you're like, it's not about me. It's about how do I help other people get what they want.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
a weird thing to grow into is like,
Right.
man, what do I want? Do I want another cool car or do I want a bigger house? Like, not
Sure.
really. I got the
Yeah.
stuff that makes me happy. So how do I help you get what you want? So
Hmm.
you can see that in our conversation. I want you guys to do well, and I
Yeah.
think you ooze that you just are
Well,
very
yeah.
interested people, and it's super fun.
That's cool. And so I imagine there's a sense of pride when you see somebody get to that finish line and
Yeah.
retire where they want and travel where they want to go
And they
and
did all the hard work. We're just helping them
Yeah.
um,
We're just
clarify
holding up the
their
mirror to
thinking.
show them.
clarify their thinking. You
Yeah.
guide them to what needs to happen, A, B, and C to get to D type of
Right.
thing.
How do these rules work? How do we
Yeah.
use them to your benefit? And how do I help you get to the point where you feel like you have enough?
Yeah.
That's an American problem where
Really
it's
is.
like always more, 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 more. But is enough possible? Is that a destination that's even possible to get to?
Hmm.
Because when people do retire, they willingly choose to not pursue more money in exchange for more time.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it takes maturity to get to that place where you say, I think we have enough and we want to do other things for other people, whether that's help take care of the grandkids occasionally or it's, pursue some hobbies. It's a really cool, gratifying thing to be part of.
Hmm.
Sometimes we get more credit than we deserve because they're like, oh, you helped us do this. I'm like, well, we just we just put some construct to all the saving and all the preparing that you did. So it's a really cool collaborative effort if it's done well. So it's fun.
Is it tough to keep up with all the rules and laws and changes and taxes and all that? Do you just constantly read and the news and the changes and all that?
Well, and once you have the critical mass, the base of knowledge, then yeah, I mean, today my daughter was taking violin lessons and I was listening to a podcast about nursing homes, long-term care planning, home equity, conversion mortgages, that sort of thing to help people. So yeah, you just stay up on these things and hopefully continue to be relevant and helpful to people.
That's great. That's cool. Yeah.
No, that's wonderful. That's a very important term.
Yeah, I could not do, like, you have the mind that can do that. I'd not at all do any of that. Like, as soon as you mentioned what you were listening to, I would be like, what's happening?
You're listening to a podcast? Oh,
I'm telling you, I get my retirement statement whenever I get it. I'm just like, no idea what any of this is. I'll look at that later.
Is it up? Is it down? Am I good? Yeah.
Oh, like I would get stressed. Like, I lost money. Did I lose everything? Or what is this? I don't know. And I dread it. I get a pit in my stomach every time I think about it because I'm so ignorant of it all. And I'm just like, I just hope I die before I do any of this. Like, so I don't have to figure it out.
I just want to go quick and painless in the bed one night. Preferably after my last one graduates high school. That's what I'm calling it.
There you go. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for your time, Adam. Do you have any lasting words to give to the listeners, American Timelines? Last things to say?
I think this is a cool thing you're doing. I appreciate being part of it, and I will more actively listen to other episodes. I've seen listened to bits and pieces. Fun, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for doing this. I know.
It was very fun.
I know I had to twist your arm a little bit, but it wasn't that bad, right? We didn't say
schedules.
Terrible.
It worked out. Well, again, I had some reservations, and
I don't blame you.
Wisdom is true.
We are reservation causing fellas. Anyway, thanks, and we'll get some sleep because it's 10 o'clock. Dude. Sorry to keep you up so late.
Appreciate it.
For a good cause. But thanks again. I keep doing what you're doing, man. It's great to see you guys.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Thanks again. Have a good one.
Bye, guys. This will be fun. This is great. Thank you, Adam. This is awesome.
Thank you, man.
Truman Ego Trip is the greatest band of all time. Buy their music.
Check out historyforjerks.com for some other cool content. American Timelines, the Nerd School podcast, the Deborah Jo Ruppyverse, and the Gruff and Loud Show. Plus a cool shirt shop with fun nostalgic merch. You can order a Gordon Jump zip pouch or a Ralph Mouth shower curtain. Only a dipshit wouldn't want a Ralph Mouth shower curtain.
History for jerks, you're the jerk with the history mother.